Today I'm just going about and I'm ripping out all the wiring and stuff and gonna get ready to fucking pull this bitch. I gotta see how to do something with the clutch down there. It's a standard clutch. And we got a couple bolts down there, so fucking maybe I just pull those suckers off. Fucking get it off, we'll figure something out. So right now I'm just trying to pull the header off, but in order to pull the header off I had to remove the bracket that's holding part of the clutch thing on. So I removed the rod that goes to the bell housing of the clutch, but in order to get the header out I need to take this piece out. So now I'm taking off these bolts, and I'm hoping, because I removed the ones from the bell housing back there, that once I take these ones out I can just slide that piece off. But fuck me, I thought these old cars are supposed to be easy to work on, but it just turned out to be a dirty cocksucker. So I finally got that header out, and it took the removal of one spark plug, which I must say, burning a little rich, I think. Whoops. And removing the whole clutch assembly, which is right down there, just to drop that header out the bottom. There's no way, no frickin' way, he must have had those headers on that engine then dropped it in, because fuck, this is kind of a nightmare. Good thing I'm gonna go to all hydraulic setup and everything else, because this is starting to suck dick. Right now we're just gonna try to pull off this outside header. Got two more bolts in the back there, and then looks like some electrical wires in the starter, and I'm hoping that I could drop just the headers down below without removing the starter. We're gonna have to see. And then a couple transmission mounts at the back there, right there, and then a couple in the front, and I'm hoping that we could maybe be ready to lift this out. That header came out actually pretty easy. Dropped her down, slid her underneath. Look at the size of that starter. Holy crap, that's kind of big. Now we're just going to remove those electrical connections from the solenoid, and getting closer. Okay, I just got the crane out. We're going to start to hook it up to the engine. Probably going to connect it. Actually, I might rip the alternator off. I don't know how I'm going to have it hooked up yet. I just want to put it on so I can lift it and get it out. Okay, I got two hooks on the front of the heads right there, and I got two on the intake manifold on the back there going into the side of the head, I believe. And now I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to put a jack underneath the tail shaft of the transmission, because we're going to pull the bolts out for the transmission mount there, and then remove I guess the two nuts, wherever that works, for the front. Then we could lift this engine out. Alright, just got a jack and a big piece of metal underneath there. Let's rip those two bolts out there. There's two bolts on the other side, and hopefully magic will be made. Okay, so I got the engine out, so now let's try to decode what the fuck this thing is. So we got one number here, it's 3970010, that's the casting block number. That'll tell you what size the engine is. But to really know what it came from, you need to go over here, and the first serial number is 141129667 K0328CMR. So I got the numbers written down here. So the first thing we're going to look at is the casting number. 3970010 is either 1968 327 or a 69 to 79 350, low power 185 horsepower to 370, car, truck, or vet. So now let's try to figure out the serial number and see what exactly this thing came out of. So I broke it down, and that engine was made in 1974, so it's the same age as me. Fuck, I'm old, 40 years old. And it's just a regular Chevy 350, nothing special, so didn't win out there. So now we're going to identify the transmission. We're going to grab the numbers and everything off of that. So it looks like we got A4, I think, C99129H, and then there's something else. maybe 1B/08900, and then there's a whole bunch of other serial numbers, but we'll go off the casting first. Well, it appears I have a Mopar A833 transmission bolted up to the Chevy 350. Not sure how that all came to be, but once I pull the bell housing and all that off, it does look like there's an adapter right there in the middle. Gonna have to try to figure that out, how the clutch setup and all that's gonna work, because I want to convert it over to a hydraulic clutch. I gotta try to figure out what kind of clutch I'm gonna need. Same with the starters, Chevy starter. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I was expecting a Muncie tranny, but I got this Mopar on the back. The shit show will continue.